Hello, it's Sunday, and I just arrived from going to see a movie that I didn't expect that I was going to see, but I decided to go and see it. I was thinking about going to see a movie Novocaine, but I just got too late, so I decided to go and see a different movie. And I decided to go and see a movie after seeing the title and checking the trailer. I decided to go and see the movie Death of a Unicorn. And you know that I play Dungeons and Dragons, so I figure, sure, let's go and see the movie. Jen Ortega is in it, and she did an awesome job playing Wednesday Addams. So Paul Rudd was in the movie Ghostbusters, so supernatural stuff. So like, you know what? This movie has to be interesting. So I decided to go and see it. And again, look, sometimes in some books and in fantasy, unicorns are depicted this beautiful creature with rainbows and all that kind of stuff. In this movie, they are not portrayed like that. I mean, they still nice and they become nice in the end, but during the movie, these unicorns, they are brutal, they are hardcore, they are bloody, and they don't like the fact that the people, that the rich millionaire in this hut that were not wanted to give their creature back. Um, so again, in Dungeons and Dragons, they are planar, they are Feywild, they are part of uh, they are defenders of the forest. They are revered by many Fey and other forest dwellers, which makes sense for the setting of the movie. So yeah, um, and again, they are lawful good. Apparently, they have unicorn breathing. The unicorn touches another creature with its horn and casts cure wounds. So pretty much in the movie that happens. You get to see that, and to a lesser extent, they seem that they also do as a restoration. Plus, apparently has other natural powers. Apparently, people become smart when they touch the unicorn. They have like a vision and things like that. So that's another new thing that they added in the movie, which I appreciate that honestly. So like it was something new. You get to see a hoof attack in the movie. You get to see the Herodian horn too. You know, like people got stabby. You know, they have a unicorn. You know that. You know, it's great. Um, so yeah, I did like the scientific approach that they did in the movie. It was almost like Ghostbuster like. I also like Paul Rudd interaction with Jenna Ortega. I think Jenna Ortega did great on the movie, and the other cast too was very interesting. I think one of the actors that was in the movie that play the son. I think it was a movie if I Guardians of the Galaxy in the last one, if I'm not wrong about it. I could be wrong. He played one of the golden boy, I think it was, yeah, or something like that. Um, but yeah, and again, the premise may seem like ridiculous, but it was quite interesting, and the twist. Um, and the ending, it was quite interesting. You feel sorry for the one liners were quite interesting, were fantastic, and again it show how what happened when like humanity encountered something that they never thought it existed before. And but the movie makes sense to me. It made total sense. I really enjoyed the fact that they um, it was not about cuteness and all that kind of stuff. There was gore. They were trying to survive. They were trying to find a way to escape. They couldn't, and it was a beautiful movie. And then the ending was just quite fantastic, And they love the ending. The ending really open, so you can put whatever you want to put out in the film. But like, I think it was a great movie. It had a great story. It had a new concept. Usually horror films either go for like sharks or vampires and things like that, but a movie that touched on a unicorn. Okay, that's something totally unique, and that's why I decided to go and see a movie because it was unique. Like I can imagine if they would have come up with another idea for the movie, just the idea of using a unicorn and making almost like a horror film, but also it wasn't per se. I don't want to say that it was horror because it was not too tense as some horror movies are. This one has some good jokes to calm the scene before the gore happened, and but also you could see that coming in some cases like that you could see that somebody's going to die at this point. But um but overall, I think the concept was new, was unique, and I also like the fact that Paul Rudd played a father that was having a broken relationship with her daughter, and by the end of the movie, he seemed to have fixed that relationship and mended back, healed that relationship, which is pretty much what the unicorn did in the end. They are healed and they're a family together, and he is with his daughter, a family together again. So that kind of makes sense to me. So from that point of view, so I can see why this movie worked. I did like the movie. I think, like I said, the acting was good. Paul Rudd did great, and I totally enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the concept, something new, something different. No vampires, no sharks, unicorns. It was great. Uh, Something new, something that 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 that, that I enjoy. Something a new take on the unicorns and actually modernizing the unicorn, because honestly most of the movies that I've seen about unicorns, they've been in fantasy fiction movies. This one was like modern world adaptation of unicorn existing in the modern world, and it reminded me two of the book of the series of book by Terry Brooks, which is the Armageddon's Children and the Armageddon's Children, specifically the Elves of Sintra, where you have the elves still living in a post-apocalyptic, post-modern world. So this was a new approach to that concept. So like I do appreciate that end, because like it's something that I haven't seen. And again, coming to think about it, I think like there was a movie, a horror movie back in the '80s called Leprechaun, uh, late '80s, early '90s. So, um, but this one was, it was done well. Like I really enjoy the concept. I enjoy the concept of the unicorn. Blood healing people, it makes perfect sense. The abilities of the unicorns, like if you're a D&D fan, so like, yeah, it didn't make D&D sense, and that to me was like quite fantastic. I wish it could have some D&D references in there, but it was cool, and I enjoyed the fact that Paul Rudd had been being in Ghostbusters, and he was in another movie about mythical creatures, or fantasy creatures. Pretty much Ghostbuster has that kind of sense of supernatural thing, so I did like that. Same with Jen Ortega, she played Wednesday Adams, so she being in this movie, it was quite amazing, and I, I I didn't see a lot of people in the movie theater, but at the same time, I think it's because people maybe may not be the cup of tea for people, and maybe they wouldn't want to get their their idea of unicorns being nice and rainbow and adorable, um, damage in their head. But like, if you watch a movie and you understand what happened, you understand why they're furious. Because I feel like if you're a unicorn and you get your creature, your little baby killed off, you're probably going to kill too. You don't want to see your baby getting killed or captured by people that want to do bad things or use the unicorn for their own nefarious purposes. So that to me, that makes so much sense. And at the end of the movie, you get to see the nice beautiful unicorns that everybody loves and cares about. So uh, again, I think it's a good movie. I hope that you all go and see it. Personally, I like it, and I definitely recommend it. Anyway, till next time, bye.